Good day, everyone. I am Erica Munyan Leroy, and I'm here to tackle about application scoring theory. Credit scoring technology has become widely used in commercial banks' lending decisions, asset pricing, and post-loan management as the personal loan and credit card industries have grown. Credit scoring techniques can assist commercial banks in reducing artificial one-sidedness in loan approval decisions, thereby reducing losses. As a result, personal credit scoring has played a critical role in commercial banks' credit risk management. In application scoring, there are four topics that I will discuss. The first one is principle of scoring. The second one is application scorecard development. The third one is strategy setting. And the last one is managing overrides. Principles of scoring. Principles for developing a credit scoring model. Banks employ a number of tools and processes to determine whether a loan application should be approved or rejected. In terms of credit risk management, the most essential instrument has become the credit scoring scientifically generated decision-making tool, which includes a scorecard and a set of statistical indicators. Each creditor places a premium on predicting the creditworthiness of the loan applicant. Indeed, offering loans to loan applicants who are late in repaying or do not return the loan leads in losses for the bank, while refusing to lend to a potentially good loan application results in lesser earnings for the bank. As a result, the creditor must make two sorts of decisions. The first one is whether or not to extend credit to a new applicant. The second one, how to deal with existing applicants, which raises the questions of whether or not to expand their credit limits. The following are the primary reasons for credit scoring. Decrease in bad debts. Enhancing operational effectiveness because the process of determining creditworthiness when applying credit scoring is automated. The manual method of risk assessment is no longer used. Increasing control over the loan portfolio by monitoring the scoring process and portfolio characteristics. Credit score enables credit management in the following ways. Improve credit risk management, resulting in more precise and consistent choices. Lowers operating costs by freeing up time for credit analysts. Implementation of a standardized system for making credit decisions and maintaining credit policies for the general public in various places. There are two types of credit scoring from the aspect of the data used in their manufacture, and they are: the first one is generic credit scoring model. Generic credit scoring models are created to forecast future loan repayment based solely on information obtained from credit bureaus such as loan repayment history, credit exposure, and hunger for new exposure. A credit scoring model that contains those elements of the loan applications that predict future behavior in the repayment of the loan is produced based on such a database using statistical and artificial intelligence technologies. The second one is user-friendly credit scoring model. This model is based on data from a certain financial institution's clients. In fact, it is tailored to the needs of each creditor. Procedures are used to data that has creditor, supported by statistical and other methods, so that those characteristics of the loan applications that are significant for regular repayment of the loan are highlighted. Low cost, broad acceptance, and high availability are all advantages of a user-customized credit scoring model. Application Scorecard Development. Application scorecards are tools that allow organizations to predict the probability that an applicant will behave in a particular way, helping businesses to make effective automated decisions. The most commonly used application scorecard for credit predicts the risk of a customer paying or not. This supports you as a business to make automated, accurate, and consistent decisions on whether to approve, review, or decline applicants. What is a credit scorecard? Within industry, credit scorecards are used to assign a score to an individual, which gives you a gauge on their predicted riskiness. This riskiness is based on predicting the probability of default, which can vary in definition but in general will be a chosen set of criteria which indicate a customer is unlikely to pay. They are very useful as it's simple to explain how to use them to a non-technical audience, which is often key when boards of directors need to understand why decisions have been made, or perhaps individuals wonder why their applications for a loan has been declined. A scorecard may generally look like the following. To use this scorecard, you go through each characteristics and assign the correct score for the individual, adding this up to get a total score. Just to note, the scorecard above is extremely simple and was created on the fly by me, so don't take this to have any actual predictive power. A properly built scorecard would contain many more variables and may use some scaling, which takes the raw score and transforms it to get a final score. A common scaling would be multiplying by 20 and adding 500, as this multiplier leads to a final score where an additional 20 points onto the score doubles the odds. There are two types of credit scorecards. The first one is application scorecards. These predict the probability an applicant will behave in a certain way based on the data you would gather on application. For a loan, for example, they are used in the decision process for acceptance or rejection, for approval of the applications, but also may be all used during the lifetime of the loan to judge if there has been a significant increase in risk since the application. The second one is behavioral scorecards. These are scorecards that are based on data gathered through the lifetime of the loan or mortgage. These can be things such as paying habits or changes in circumstances. In particular, I saw this used to predict the probability of default and the probability of redemption, which were used as part of a calculation of expected losses. Strategy setting. A good strategic plan will set direction for the organization, focus your efforts, eliminate distractions, and set priorities. It will also define measures of success in terms of financial performance and other key metrics. Strategy has to go beyond defining a vision and a mission. It must establish priorities in terms of initiatives and priority areas. You'll share those priorities with the rest of the company so that everyone knows what to work on and why they're working on it. People will be more likely to act during uncertain times if clear success indicators are in place. They know what goals they're aiming for, so even if you're not around to provide direction, they know what they should be focusing on. What is a strategic goal? Strategic goals are vision for your business that have quantifiable or qualitative results. This means that achieving the goal must be something you can measure and track, using data like increased numbers, financial figures, or improved productivity rates. There are many different types of examples for strategic planning goals and objectives that can be useful. Which goals you choose to work toward depends on what will be a greater benefit to you and your company. Why strategic goals are important. Setting strategic goals can have a significant impact on the success and productivity of your team. Strategic goals influence how and where a team's energy and resources are used. They also provide the team with concrete objectives that will keep them focused and motivated. Here are some examples of the benefits of strategic goals. The first one is defining priorities. The second one is guiding resource allocation. The third one is directing the creation and maintenance of budgets. The fourth one is influencing the formation of teams. The fifth one is providing focus and motivation for employees. The sixth one is informing the objectives of the marketing, public relations, and human resources departments. The seventh one is providing comprehensive data used to measure a team's results. Managing overrides. Management override of internal controls is the intervention by managers in the approval and/or processing of transactions that is contrary to an entity's internal control system. It has been at the heart of various corporate scandals from WorldCom to Enron. Employees are expected to carry out management's instructions, and most do so, even if it means non-compliance with an internal control procedures. Management also often has the best understanding of the system of internal control, and the system sometimes even allows for special approval by management at a certain level on uncommon transactions. Management override often takes one of these forms. Processing of invalid journal entries. Journal entries can be processed to cover up theft or to inflate earnings. Significant unusual transactions, often with related parties. Manipulating estimates. Limitations of internal controls. Internal controls are designed to provide a reasonable but not absolute assurance that these objectives will be achieved, and management always takes cost-benefit consideration into account. This means that even a well-designed system of internal controls has its limitations. Internal controls limitations are due to human error. Employees can forget to perform an internal control procedure or can simply do it wrong. Errors in judgment. Controls often rely on employees approving or reviewing documents prepared by other employees, and sometimes their judgment can be faulty. Changes in circumstances. Internal control system can be designed for an operating system that later change. This is especially relevant in fast-growing entities. Cost constraints, particularly in smaller businesses. It is often more profitable to accept a limited cost of fraud or error than to design internal controls for every eventuality. Collusion. Most internal control systems can be circumvented when more than one employee work together. Think, for instance of a system designed to prevent the misappropriation of cash where one employee received the cash and issues receipt to customers. Another reconciles the cash received to the total of the receipt issue and prepares the cash for banking. If these two employees collude, the internal control measures is useless. Management override. Management, because of their position and organization, can override just about any internal control measure. We will discuss the ways they can do it in the next section.